Big Z Reviews. Jojo Rabbit is the newest film from Taika Waititi, and it's funny, going from Thor Ragnarok to this Jojo Rabbit is just such a leap. And I mean, it shows how good of a director and writer he is. And this might be my favorite movie of the year. It's going to be fighting for number one probably against Avengers Endgame. But I mean, it's just such a great movie.
Growing up too fast. 10-year-olds shouldn't be celebrating war and talking politics.
Heil Hitler. I wish more of our young boys had your blind fanaticism.
Did you know Jews can read each other's minds?
But how would you know if you saw one? They could look just like us.
Hi. You know what I am? Say it. A Jew. Gesundheit.
So the story is based on a book by Christine Lunens, and the book is about a much more serious tale where a kid that's in the Hitler Youth, he finds a Jew hiding in his mother has hidden in their house, and he really has to come to terms with with should he turn him in, like what should he do, like. And and it's funny, I watched some interviews with Taika Waititi talking about this and how he had such a weird idea for it, and he went to the author and she agreed to let him have the rights to it. And it's such an interesting film because it's a comedy. This is a comedy, but there's also a drama, and there's also a little bit of action, not too much action, but it feels like, I mean, I laughed probably the most I've laughed the whole year in this film, but I would go from laughing at one scene to crying in the next. And I mean, it's such a tightrope that Taika had to go through, because I mean, it could have easily been such a mess of a film. Because I mean, you have, Hitler is an actual character in this film, and it's played by the director, Taika Waititi, and he is an imaginary friend of the main character Jojo, played expertly by Roman Griffin Davis. And like, it's hilarious how much that stuff has to do with it, and how they even play with him that he's not a real character. So like, he'll like change outfits, or he'll do something, he'll like be talking to him, and how he talks is just so funny, and even how a lot of times how like he'll leave the scene weirdly because he's not a real character, he's not a real person in the film. And it's so funny. But then also, like, it sets the tone that is very interesting, and I love this so much. And as there's also, you have Thomasin McKenzie. She plays Elsa, and that is the Jewish girl that's hiding in the crawl spaces in their house. And Scarlett Johansson plays his mom, and she is excellent too. I really liked her. And then there's also Sam Rockwell, plays like the captain of the Hitler Youth, and you also have Rebel Wilson, who's just hilarious in this film, as like kind of like this secretary, and you also have Alfie Allen as like, I think Sam Rockwell's the gay partner, but it's kind of like an underling, and you have Stephen Merchant as an SS agent, and Archie Yates is this really cute little kid, Yorkie, which is Jojo's second best friend after Hitler. And there's so much that it's just such an excellent film. And it's tough. Like, the actual content of the film, what they're talking about is like deathly serious. But then the same, like, how they're so often able to pull jokes on it too. And then sometimes they're almost like they're doing commentary without even talking about how batshit insane the whole Nazi party was. Like, it's also commentating on it, even while they're also doing it, and it's also funny, but it's not supposed to be funny because what they're doing is horrible, what they're saying is horrible, but at the same time, what they're saying is hilariously funny, especially like with how, like, I mean, it's horrible, but with how, I mean, the whole idea of the Hitler Youth is that you're indoctrinating these kids, and you're getting them to hate Jews, and you're getting the Jews as the villains, and that they do a lot of funny things with how he just thinks Jews are like and what he just thinks are Jews. It's hilarious, but it's horrible at the same time. And in real life, that the Hitler Youth turned in a lot of parents, and their parents were killed. And that they might have been hiding Jewish people, or they might have been saying bad things about the Nazi Party. I mean, that's the real stuff. And how this film tackles it is just so interesting. It's weird to say, for a comedy film, it's essentially, I mean, I think this is the strongest part of it to say it would be a comedy. But at the same time, this is probably the most emotional film for me of the year. And for a while, this is the most emotional film I've seen in a while. But I mean, it really hits your heartstrings, things that happen in it. And you spend so much time with Jojo, and you see him growing as a character. And Roman Griffin Davis is so good. And like when the relationship starts forming with Elsa, again, Thomasin McKenzie, she is so good too. Like they carry the movie, those two. And you have this whole thing where, like, he hates her because she's a Jew, and she's like kind of threatening him, and it's endangering his whole family because she's there. But at the same time, like, he kind of has a crush on her, and it's such a weird and interesting play on it. And I was so absorbed in it. I didn't know what was going to happen either. I was just enthralled by the film. And what it does, I mean, there are tragic parts to it, but then there's also really funny parts. And it's so weird to still have kind of tears in your eyes, and then be laughing your ass off, and like a scene or two later, like I don't know if I've ever had a film quite like this. I can't think of a film where it was this funny, but then it was also this emotional. I really can't think of a film like it. I can't. Like, the only thing is maybe his Taika Waititi's other films, have a little bit of that comedy in the darkness, and like I could see some of his other films have a little bit of that, that because bad things happen, but it's also a lot of funniness surrounding it. And I mean, it's really with this film, I can't wait to see whatever Taika does next. Because I mean, I don't know if it might be another Thor movie or what. Whatever it is, I'll be there for it. And it's too bad it didn't get too much of a wider release. I had to travel like 2 hours to see this, but it was worth it for me. It was amazing. Yeah, I really loved this film. I'd probably give it a 10 out of 10. Like, honestly, right now I have it as number 2 for my favorite films of 2019, but it'll be fighting for number 1, I think. I have to see how it holds up when I can see it again. But thanks for watching. You can check out the playlist on my head and subscribe to me and see over there. Thanks. This has been a Big Z movie review. Thanks for watching.